Alright guys, first of all, I am extremely sorry for the lack of videos on my channel for the past few months. I figured you guys deserved an explanation. The most obvious facet of my channel that's been missing has been my Race to Prestige series. It's been the bread and butter of my YouTubing career for a long time now. Over the summer I had plenty of time to be ambitious and dream about continuing it through the school semester, but transitioning back into school was a little bit tougher than I expected. At first, the absence of Race to Prestige was caused by my technical problems, whether it was a lot of internet trouble, I couldn't get my Wi-Fi working, or getting our TeamSpeak server IP unblocked. It was just one thing after another, and it caused me to really not play Knots for those first couple weeks of school. My stockpile of episodes eventually dwindled into nothing, and I physically couldn't record more because of these problems. But eventually, all of these technical holdups got resolved. But another problem arose. I began to be really busy. I had bitten off a lot more than I could chew academically, and I was just so busy. I know it's not much of an excuse, but it's just what happened. I got into the habit of not making YouTube videos, and that helped alleviate my time crunches. I've spent so much time on schoolwork and assignments. This has definitely been my most productive semester in terms of academics. This is my senior year. I'm really busy with a lot of projects and a lot of assignments. To give you some perspective, I usually would play Knots at the end of a day to try and unwind, but I don't even have the time generally to play those games casually for fun, let alone record them formally for Race to Prestige. But after a while, another problem started to arise. The matchmaking server arrived, and again, I physically couldn't play because they had used a different IP address than what Steam used for the matchmaking system. And then I had my spring break, and that week I intentionally left my gaming computer at college so I would be more present with the people back at home and make sure it was a more meaningful break than just spending all my time video gaming. I returned, and I still couldn't play Knots. The IP hadn't been given to me, but even once that got fixed, sort of another problem rose up. This is just the theme. When we switched back to the old server, I had stopped really enjoying the game. Knots became really frustrating to me. I wasn't having fun like I used to. The games just were dragging on, and I just couldn't find enjoyment. Video games have always had this nasty habit of bringing out my worst side, my temper and my rage, and I've always tried to sort of restrain that, but definitely with Knots is one of those things where it kind of sneaks out. While occasional bursts of rage can be entertaining, I didn't want Race to Prestige to become engulfed in that kind of rage status, that was just everything. I wanted there to be good times, and I just wasn't experiencing that, and that caused my desire to start recording again to just completely die. I was playing awful because I was rusty, and I wasn't enjoying myself at the same time, and it was just a bad combination. I tried to wean myself back into Knots by streaming, practicing staying calm, and just trying to enjoy the game again. And sometimes that worked, and you guys saw the video pop up on YouTube, but then other times it was just more anger and rage, and I just scrapped the video or stopped the stream. I didn't want to force myself to record a Race Prestige then because I had to, because I felt like I needed to. I just wanted to wait until the time was right. It really pained me to no ends to see how dead my channel has become. I've absolutely loved YouTubing, but I have been incredibly busy with school this semester. I've had so many projects I've had to work on and helping other people. But it has certainly helped not to have the stress about having that regular schedule of videos and just trying to have a fun time with Knots, and sort of that break has given me that joy. The joy for the game has sort of come back slowly, and I think I'm almost in the right mindset to start recording again. But yet again, technical problems have become the death of me. Right now, I physically cannot play Awesome Knots again because they've switched to the actual server, and the IP that they gave me before was actually their testing server, so now I have to wait for IT, and they weren't able to unblock it before Thanksgiving break, so I have all this time finally, but I can't actually play Knots. I probably would have been able to start Race to Prestige this week and maybe get a couple episodes and start rolling again. But again, can't. Physically cannot play Awesome Knots. Hopefully you'll see underneath this video, I hope, a video of the character in beta, because I think I still can play offline, and I'll try and fiddle with that, but I can't really make any promises. If not, oh well. However, it's frustrating, but this is also kind of beneficial because it's helping me stay focused on the programs or projects assignments I've been putting off. I've got a lot of stuff to do in the next 3 weeks, and just sort of not having that distraction of Knots where just getting carried away and playing it for 4 or 5 hours, which can often happen when I play Knots. It's probably for the best, because it's only been a couple days and I've already been extremely productive. To hopefully sate your appetite of Knots that has been you've been craving for this while, I have started to release a crap ton, that is the measurement, of recordings of the game, unlisted, as to not spam your inboxes, in my random Knots game series. This has just been stockpiles of videos that I have always intended to sort of cut up into a highlight video, but I just have never had the time. And this is stuff from like the beginning of this year all the way till like a few months, like it's like 6 months of basically all of my Knots games, because that was a time when like Red was streaming, so I didn't stream, so it didn't get recorded that way, but I still recorded all the matches. So when I first started that series of random Knots games, RNG, I felt bad because it was kind of like a filler episode and it wasn't really high quality. But I feel like it's better to release them now in this way than to sort of delete them. I've been doing like spring cleaning on my hard drive, and I didn't want to delete them because there's just a lot of great moments in those games, and I'm scrubbing through each one to make sure they're actually entertaining and interesting and not just like terrible, boring matches or with no words. So they're gonna be some entertaining matches anyway, so I really suggest you watching them. And also, it kind of serves as an interesting reference point because this game is constantly evolving, things are changing, things are sort of always in flux, strategies and stuff, so it's really interesting to sort of see what worked back in the past, almost a year ago. And it's also, if you want to see me play certain characters and other characters, I have it all listed by characters and what map it is, so if you want to see just certain maps or just certain characters, you can sort them through that way there. So hopefully that can sort of help alleviate what's going on. As for when I return with actual more regular content, I really don't know, and I'm really cautious to put out a date again. The next 2 or 3 weeks of school will be incredibly busy for me, so I highly doubt I will find the time to get it started then, but I will definitely try my hardest to get it rolling again on break. This is something I love. I'm not going to abandon it forever. This has been a hiatus of a couple months for a multitude of reasons, but I will return. This has always been a joy and a passion of mine, so just felt like you guys deserve an explanation as to why I've sort of been completely silent. It's just that terrible combination of hardware problems, not enjoying the games, and just finding the time to do this. I can't stress how sad I am that it's been this way, because like we just celebrated the 1 year like of continuous Race to Prestige episodes, and then to just drop off the planet was a little bit crazy. And I know these RNG matches are hardly a replacement for my regular kind of better content, but they will have to do for now, and I hope you can find them entertaining. There's already 50 of them up as the time of recording this, and there are like 200 more on my hard drive that I need to sort of sort through and scrub through to make sure they're appropriate or entertaining. But I'm, as soon as, like, even though I won't start up Race to Prestige probably soon, I will definitely try to start streaming again as soon as I can actually play this game. It just upsets me how long it takes for things to move in our IT department, but that's another story entirely. Hopefully we return soon triumphantly. We can start season 9. I have the intro already edited. I just need to actually play the games. But sadly, that has not happened. Also, like, there's so many developments and things that we can talk about once we start going, but again, I really wanted to be in the right mindset before we started recording again. And just over the past few months, I wasn't. I was busy, I was stressful, I wasn't enjoying the game. Still busy, still a little bit stressful with school, but I'm actually starting to enjoy the game, so progress is being made. Anyway, rambling on for almost 11 minutes, but hopefully that is a good explanation. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm just telling you this is what's happened. This is why I've disappeared. That's about it. Thank you guys for your support. You've always been there for me. I'm not putting this out here so that you guys can be like, oh, it's okay, Papa. It's like, no, I suck. Legitimately, I suck at being a YouTuber, honestly, for the past 3 months. But I'm going to hopefully change that in the future, and I am willing to change, and I'm looking to change. So, anyway, thank you very much for watching this. I'll see you soon, hopefully.